Welcome to In With the Podcast, where we let go of stuff that's no longer helpful and we make space for what really matters. Out with the old, in with the you. What's up? I'm Jenna. Hello. I'm here. I am on a little video. I'm experimenting, and it's been fun. I help you find more confidence in leadership, more balance in life, generally just more joy all around. And I do that by helping you choose your whole self because you get to choose your whole self. You get to choose how you want to show up, who you want to be, and shine up those beautiful jewels that you have and let the world see them. We talked a couple weeks ago about embodying our values and what that means. And it's all about knowing what matters to you and then acting accordingly and paying attention when things feel really, really good and also when things maybe don't feel so good. And I'm really excited today to just kind of pop on here and chat because I've had just like a wild couple of weeks and wild in the sense that the universe is like universing really hard. And I've just been very grateful and very aware of all of those things that are coming at me and coming for me. And and it's just I wanted to bring it up because one of the things I talk about is about being aligned with your passions and paying attention to the things that feel good. And there were so many instances in the past week and a half where that happened, and it stopped me. It caused me to stop and pause. And I want to talk about a couple of those things. And also just this week of Thanksgiving week in the spirit of gratitude. I think that my gratitude practice that, I started almost exactly a month ago when I found my old gratitude journal in my old, when I was looking for my Mall World map, which by the way, I have not dreamed of Mall World ever since I discovered this Mall World community, but I have gone onto Sora and have asked it to create Mall World AI videos of me, which are a little terrifying. Just all Sora in general is a little terrifying and also very fun. I've been making Charlie do like really fun things with me. We hung out with a baby donkey. That's something that he would not do. He's just not into other animals, and that's cool. But anyway, I haven't dreamt of Mall World since looking at that map in the gratitude journal, but I have been very, very consistent with my gratitude journal. And I think that practice of regularly noticing and being grateful and saying out loud the things I'm grateful for, or like writing down the things I'm grateful for, it really does, like this law of attraction business, like whether you believe it or not, I do think that there is something there. When you are looking for good things, you will see good things. If you are looking for things that disappoint you, things that are like, bad or cause anxiety or whatever, that's what you're going to find. Like you are going to find what you're looking for. And so if you're looking for good things, you're going to find them and they're going to come your way and you're going to be just like buzzing with electricity with all of the things coming your way, which is what happened to me. So last week? I don't know what week it was, a week or so ago. Oh, it was around the 11/11 manifestation portal, which again, if you believe in that stuff or not, doesn't matter, but it's really about naming and saying the things out loud that you want in your life. And I think that's good for any day of the year. But if you're into the 11/11 manifestation portal, like more power to you. But I was in Park City for a meeting. I work with a company. I help them with their annual planning sessions, and we were out there for a couple of days. And this team of people is just so generous, so kind, so just wholesome and genuine, like just the best folks that you could imagine. And just being around that good energy was so great. But anyway, on my flight there, I have these moments sometimes, and I was trying to explain this. I was having dinner with the CEO of the company the night before our planning session. I was trying to explain it to him because it's like I have these moments where, and I had this in the airport in Salt Lake City, where I'm just realizing how we are all of us as humans are just like scurrying around like little ants, and we are just like so important, and we're just like looking at our phones, and we're trying to get places, and we have our bags full of our little things, and we're getting on these like flying vehicles to go places, and it just seems so silly to me that we are like so concerned with stupid shit all the time when we are just these little tiny ants on this little rock that's, you know, shooting through the universe, and none of this actually matters. None of this matters. You and your, forgetting to pack your charger, that doesn't matter. like the things that we think matter just sometimes they just don't. And I know that there's a lot of really dumb and bad shit going on right now in the world, and 100%, like I can't disagree with that. But sometimes the things that we choose to put our like negative energy toward, it just makes me laugh. Anyway, so I was having this moment walking through the airport. I was having like so much gratitude for all of these people. There was this mom with these three kids, and they all had their little bags, and they're all just like, "Mom," rah, 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 rah. And I stopped and I looked at the woman in the eyes. I'm like, "You are a really good mom." And she says, "Thank you." And just those moments where you can like see someone and recognize someone for who they are on this like silly planet that we're on, in this like little blink of an existence. I don't know. I was just had this big stupid smile on my face of walking through the airport, and I was just really needing to hold back from complimenting every single person who I saw, because I was just seeing them for their just like genuine, pure beautifulness. And so I had, and really like the moment I recognize that I'm having this consciousness level, it disappears. Like you're in it, and then the moment you acknowledge it, it just starts to dissipate a little bit. Anyway, I was just like full of all of this energy, and it just set me off. It just set me off for the whole rest of the week. And I was trying to explain this energy to Steve at dinner, and he's just like, "Yeah, nothing really matters." I'm like, "Yes, exactly, nothing really matters." Just having some laughs around that. But I say that because sometimes it's just so important to pick yourself way, way up and get perspective on what really matters. And I know I talk about that all the time, what really matters, but like, man, we can choose to get into some real deep spirals about some really dumb stuff. And I'm not saying I'm immune to that, because that does happen to me. But I think that choosing gratitude, and look, it's like, I know I've only been doing my gratitude journal for like one whole month, but I have lived a life of being very grateful and appreciative and noticing these things for a long, long time. But it really is like the act of writing it down has been more of a new thing. But when you are regularly living this life where you are looking for all of the good things, when the tough or challenging things come, they feel more like just kind of like a little blip, rather than something that's going to completely like destabilize you. So I think that, I've been thinking, as we're heading into the end of 2025, just some of the lessons I've been learning and things that I've gained in this year. And that's been one of them, is just my resilience, my ability to just take things as they come, put things into perspective, recognizing that we're all just like silly little insects running around an airport getting little snacks, all these little like restaurants that we go to. It's all just silly and cute. But anyway, that energy propelled me through the week, and I had this really great meeting with this team, and just like I said, great people. And they gave me a gift and a card, and they each wrote a message in a card for me. And just like, a good thank you card always like gets me. It gets me. So I appreciated the thoughtfulness that went into that. But one of the people on the team said that in his message, he said, ever since we've been starting to work with you, we've been able to get so much more vulnerable as a leadership team. And he thanked me for that. And that is just, that was another moment where I was like, oh my gosh, yes, like I'm doing the things I'm supposed to be doing. Like I love listening to people, helping people have difficult conversations, getting them to discover new things about themselves and then in turn about each other. And then like the learning that happens when we're reflecting things back and forth to each other and having like the courage to, admit stuff that we're learning about ourselves. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's my sweet spot. I love doing that. And people are recognizing me for that. And I'm feeling the energy from that. So I was just like, I was feeling so good. I'm in Park City. It's chilly. It's the 11:11 portal. And I'm like, I'm going to go for a walk down onto Main Street before dinner. And I'm just like walking. I'm listening to my music and it's crisp and it's like, I'm loving it and walking through Main Street. And if you've been to Park City, it's just like cute little shops and I can imagine that if one was a downhill skier, it would be a really fun little villagey place to hang out and, buy ski accessories and such. I don't know if you know about my not so successful downhill skiing adventures. That's a story for another day. But I was walking through all the shop, like walking down the street, and I'm not like a huge art gallery person. I appreciate art, but I'm just like, yeah, that looks cool. I'm not like a big art person, but I was walking past this gallery and I was just like, oh man, I gotta go in there. There was just a painting that I was just like, oh man, that looks so cool. And I was walking around a little bit and I'm like, oh man, this music is good. So I was like Shazamming the songs. I'm like, oh man, this is like a really good playlist. And then I saw some paintings of hummingbirds, and hummingbirds are my favorite. Like my hummingbirds will show up for me when very like monumental things are going on for me. So hummingbirds are always my special little harbingers of joy. And the guy who was working there came up to me and he was just like, oh yeah, you like these paintings? I'm like, yeah, they're super cool. I'm like, I really love hummingbirds. And he's like, oh, if you like hummingbirds, let me show you this. And so we walked through the gallery and he brought me to this other section where this guy just has a ton of hummingbird paintings, and they are like paintings makes it sound like it cheapens the experience of what these pictures were, because it was like gold leaf and silver leaf and just like interesting perspective, and all the colors were like my colors. They're like these blues and pinks and greens and like all of like that vibe. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And so I was talking to the guy. Well, so we were talking about music. I'm like, dude, this music is great. He's like, oh, I put a lot of time into making playlists. I'm like, I put a lot of time into playlists too. And so we talked about just the art of playlists. But then we were talking about like these paintings, and they were amazing, and they were way, way out of my price range. But I was just like, man, should I spend all of my money on these paintings? I did not, but they were so cool. And I was talking to him about 11:11, the manifestation portal. He's like, oh man, I was messaging people this morning about how they need to make sure that they're manifesting things today for 11:11. I'm like, oh my gosh, so you totally get it. And so we're just like vibing on all of these things, on playlists, on art, on manifestation. And then he's like, I want to show you this other room in the gallery. And so we went over this other place. And I'm like, oh my God, these are really cool paintings too. He's like, this is the coolest part of these paintings. And he like dimmed the lights in the gallery, and all of these oil paintings, they just glowed. And it wasn't because they had like special glow in the dark paint. It was just how the artist used the lightness of the paint to just create this like sensation, just like this illumination that came out of it. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And these paintings, by the way, were like these like snowy scenes with some trees and some like sunsets and a creek, and all of them reminded me of growing up in northern Wisconsin and just like skiing through the back 40 and just the scenes that I would see. And I told him, I'm like, oh man, this reminds me of growing up in northern Wisconsin. He's like, I grew up in Wisconsin too. I was like, what? And so he grew up in southern Wisconsin. I grew up in northern Wisconsin. I told him like, yeah, I was in Lake Superior. He's like, oh, well, I went to college in the UP of Michigan on Lake Superior. I was just like, what? And so we just like kept having all these things in common. And I told him, I'm like, I feel like I was supposed to meet you today. He's like, I feel like I was supposed to meet you too. And so we just looked at all of these paintings and he explained all of them to me. And I just was so overwhelmed by just the beauty of the art. And he's like, here, we've got some other galleries too. You got to make sure you check them out. I was like, okay. I took his card uh, and he's like, let me know if you go to the other galleries. I'm like, okay. And he just shook my hand and we was talking a little bit longer. And I'm like, okay. And I just went in for a hug. I went in for a hug and he hugged me back and I was like, thank you. This was such a special time. He's like, this was really special. So shout out, his name is Geronimo and he's at galleries in Park City. And I was walking back to the hotel so I could make it to dinner on time because I was just like, oh man, there's all this art I have to look at. And I was walking kind of quickly to go back and I was like, wait a second. And I stopped because there was another gallery. There was a painting on the wall that I saw where I'm like, I need to look closer at this. And so I went into this gallery and just was overwhelmed by just another artist who was using all these again, gold leaf and all these colors and just it was wild. And this was one of the galleries that he told me to check out. So I feel like he just knew what I was supposed to see and where I was supposed to go and how I was supposed to meet him. And it's those moments where I was just like, oh my gosh, everything is lining up. The people I'm supposed to meet, the conversations I'm having, the synchronicities. It's just makes it feel like a small world and it just makes it feel so special. And so I was just walking really quick back to the hotel so I could get changed and get to the restaurant. And they had this really nice dinner together at the Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. And I walk in and I find our table. And you guys, I don't know how this restaurant selects its music or if it's a serious station or what it is, but I got to the table and I sat down. And I'm like, wait a second, I know this song. And the song Reckoner by Radiohead came on, which is probably in my top 5 favorite Radiohead songs of all time. I'm like, what? How? Why? What? This is not even the most popular Radiohead song. And why would it be on at Ruth's Chris in Park City? So I had this moment again where I kind of just laughed and I'm like, okay, thank you. Thank you, universe, for keep giving me things I love all the time. So it was just special. It was just special to get to do what I love with people who are just appreciative and value what I give and the energy I provide and the expertise that I'm sharing and just meeting random strangers, finding beautiful paintings, hearing my favorite music randomly. And then on my flight home, it was pretty special because there was a big, geomagnetic storm that made a bunch of northern lights happen, basically for half of the country, which was pretty cool. And I was pretty pumped because I was flying home during during it. And so I'm like, okay, well, I've seen northern lights lots of times in my life. I've been very lucky. As I just mentioned, I grew up in northern Wisconsin and they're just kind of there. But I've never seen them from a plane. And I feel like that was another thing that was just kind of meant for me, is that I got to see the aurora from my beautiful window seat on my Delta flight. So I got to take some pictures. I wish the cabin lights were lower because I was just I was underneath. I was like an old timey photographer who makes one of those dark rooms by putting a giant blanket over their heads. I was creating that on my flight so I could get some pictures. So that happened. So I just felt just overwhelmed by just the amazingness of that happening. And then made it home, all the things. And then I had a opportunity to speak to a leadership development group about resilience. And I had spent a couple of weeks deep diving into what I wanted to talk about with resilience. And I got the opportunity to talk to this group and share all these things. And they were energized. And I'm like, oh man, I keep getting to do the things I love to do with people who are appreciating it. And all this stuff keeps coming my way. So it was just such a special week from that perspective. And I just, again, gratitude. When you are looking for good things, you will find the good things. When you are looking for all the reasons why something could go wrong, you're gonna find them. So I say that because I talk to a lot of people lately who are just kind of things aren't going great, and lots of reasons for people why things aren't going great. But I've just been thinking a lot about resilience and, um, how we get through hard times and the mindset that we have, and choosing to look for good things, and not in a toxic positivity kind of way, but just in a way where you believe that you can get through the hard things, and that the hard things that are coming on your path are happening for you. And it's really hard to see it at the time, but it's really important. I like to think this happens to me a lot when shitty things are happening to me. I get obviously very sad or very anxious or very angry or very frustrated. But in those moments, I also can have this out of body experience where I can say, oh, hey, but wait, this is going to make a really good story one day. And then I can come back into my present moment and look at it through a lens of like, there's a lesson to learn here. And I'm going to figure this out because I've figured out everything that I've ever gone through in 46 years. So why would this be any different? So just like that perspective is so helpful. Yeah, so I was just like buzzing with energy, and I went to a friend's book launch that last week too, and I was just around all these like-minded people, and we're all just like asking each other questions and just like vibing, and I was just buzzing with energy. And so then I met my gentleman friend for dinner afterward, and I was just like bouncing off the walls, and he was like really chill, and I was very not chill. And he's like, "Are you hungry?" I'm like, "I don't know. I feel like I should be. I haven't eaten since breakfast." And he's like, "You haven't eaten all day?" I'm like, I'm just going off of vibes. I'm like, I'm on my nutrients are vibes. And then I thought of vitamin V, because I know I've had vitamin H or vitamin hope or hopefulness, but like I've been subsisting solely on vitamin V for a week. Just vibes, just straight vibes, just energy, just like feeling it. And then I went to Minneapolis for a long weekend. I got to see a whole bunch of family, which was outstanding. I got to go to a Timberwolves game, got to hang out with friends from high school, went to see the Mars Volta for the sixth time, ate a bunch of food. Like everything was just lining up. Everything was just lining up. And I think more things are lining up for us than we think. We just don't take a lot of time to stop and notice it. So I encourage you, slash urge you, slash implore you, other synonyms, just a little thesaurus over here, especially during this week of Thanksgiving, of gratitude, of just slowing down and noticing, paying attention, having gratitude, saying things out loud to people when you notice them, whether it's someone in the airport or someone just that on a regular basis. Like it's just the more you give out of that energy, the more you get it in return. And I know it sounds like a little woo woo, but I experienced it firsthand for like 10 straight days. And like I could barely sleep because of just how overwhelmed with gratitude I was. And I just, again, it's so important. So vitamin V, having a lot of gratitude is going to help you get more vitamin V, get those vibes, help you understand what drives you, what lights you up, what those passions are, like the people. Like again, when I think about my week and I think about my values, a couple of them that showed up a lot was embracing genuine connection, my ability to, I had so many excellent conversations with people, and like deep conversations. If you have had a conversation with me, I hope you know that I plan to go very deep, very fast. So be ready, because it's so important to me to do that and to help people feel seen. And then I'm just like very naturally curious, which is another one, which is around cultivating curiosity. And just my ability to live into that value this week was really about me helping people learn, helping myself learn, getting people deeper and growing. I mean, there's just a lot of this like deep connection, and cultivating curiosity was front and center. And then also following and sharing the joy, taking time to compliment strangers, taking time to notice the wet leaves outside and how just magical slash dangerous they are to walk on. Just little things like that. And I just want to get onto the microphone and just talk about it because I feel so good when I live in this way. And I don't know, maybe if you maybe you already do live in this way, which is great. Please do keep it up. Please do keep noticing, keep embodying your values and living boldly. But if you are maybe not doing that so much right now, maybe the like darkness of, the winter time is kind of starting to get to you, like just notice what, ask yourself, like, what else can I choose? What else can I choose? What else might be true? That's my number one question I always ask myself when I'm kind of down, kind of grumpy, kind of upset, or like totally starting to spiral because of just whatever stories in my head. I'm like, wait a second, what else might be true? So yeah, what else could you choose? Keep choosing things that boost your vitamin V. And also remember that you are the one who gets to choose that. We find a lot of reasons why we blame other people why we're not happy, or we blame other people for why things are happening to us. See what it's like to not do that, to not be the victim to the experience, but actually get to say, okay, well, I get to choose something else for myself. I get to choose more vitamin V and do it. So that's my encouragement / invitation to you this week, is to practice gratitude. Choose more of the things that make you grateful. Choose more of the things that fill you with the vibes. And yeah, and maybe even, as you're having these conversations, I don't know if you're like I've not really been this way, but I've seen it on TV when people are like, these are the things I'm thankful for, and they like go around the table. I don't know. Maybe this is the year you start doing that. Or maybe this is the year that on Thanksgiving you text 5 or 10 friends the thing that you're most grateful for about them. Maybe this is the year that you start to put some of that extra gratitude, extra vibes into the world. And then I would be so curious to learn what you get in return. Again, and not doing it because you think that you're supposed to get something in return, because that's a recipe for resentment. But doing it because you mean it, not doing it because you feel like, well, if I'm going to do it, they better tell me something nice in return. That's not the energy we want to put out. We want to put out an energy of, I'm grateful. I'm having a lot of gratitude. I'm saying out loud. I just want to recognize it and give it to you. Think of it as like a little gift without, expecting anything in return. But then see what happens in return, because I suspect a whole lot of really special things will come back to you. So let's do that this week. Let's be grateful. Let's run on vibes, but also like this is the week to eat like a lot of really good sides. Thanksgiving week, leftovers, etc. I'm not a big Thanksgiving food person necessarily, but let's subsist on Thanksgiving sides and vibes. Vibes and sides. That's my new restaurant. I'm going to have a restaurant called Vibes and Sides, and it's just going to be a menu of side dishes. All right, we're going to have like at least three kinds of cheesy potatoes. What else do we want to have on there? Like maybe a mac and cheese, perhaps. What other sides do we want? Asparagus? You guys want asparagus as a side? What other sides should we have? Ooh, like creamed corn. I'm just thinking of a steak restaurant basically right now, because when I go to a steak restaurant, all I want to do is eat sides. So vibes and sides. I will be working on my menu. Cheesy potatoes, 3 ways, 3 kinds of cheesy potatoes, a couple of veggies. Oh, so much bread. Oh, with like a whole like different butters, like a garlic butter, or like a herb butter, or just like straight up butter. It's like salted butter, and maybe a whole butter menu. Who wants to give me some like nice working capital for my restaurant? Putting it out there, universe. Anyway, yeah, so I'm experimenting. I don't know, like if you're probably listening via audio right now, but right now I'm also doing a video. So I'm playing around with that. I am going to be experimenting with some other things related to the podcast. Oh, there's Charlie. Oh, it's because the UPS truck is outside. I wonder if he's bringing me gifts. Probably not. I'm just waiting for Charles. All right, so until next time, you know what to do. Like, review, follow the podcast, share it with someone, use it as an opportunity to talk about the things you're grateful for, the vibes that you're subsisting on. Follow me on Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm always putting some weird stuff on my Instagram stories, so you can find me there. Next week, we have an exceptional podcast with a guest that you won't want to miss. We're getting ready for the holiday season. We're getting fully into winter. December is one of my most favorite months, not because of Christmas necessarily, but just because of the solstice and the darkness and the year-end reflection and everything that comes with that. So lots coming in your way in December. And until next time, keep making room for what matters. Out with the old, in with the you.